I'm Harrison Graham, and Bears Now is presented by Prize Picks. We'll top into a mailbag here from Is It Time for Football? I hope it needs to be. It needs to be. I'll tell you that. Could TJ Watt pop up as a surprise trade candidate for the Bears? I don't really think so. He's a smaller edge rusher. He's like 240, 245. He's also 32, and he costs a lot of money. I mean, he's making $41 million per year. Sometimes the way those bigger contracts are structured, if you trade for them, they're not as detrimental on your cap compared to the team they're leaving, but it still would be $32 million this year against the Bears cap. They'd have to move a lot of money around. Again, as I've said all offseason, could they do it? Yes, they have enough contracts they can, maneuver and push money down the road where if they really wanted to, they could. But I don't think TJ Watt's the right guy. He's too old. He costs too much money. His play is declining. He's still very good. He's still awesome, but I don't think he's a perfect fit, and I don't think it's the right time for TJ Watt for where he's at in his career. So I would pass personally on TJ Watt. Now, name a player that you do think the Bears should trade for. Maybe you want TJ Watt. You can drop his name down in the comments. But if it's someone else, let us know who that is as well. All right, we got a super chat from Bears Fan for Life. Appreciate the 10. He says, what's your boldest prediction for the Bear this season that you genuinely believe could happen? So super bold, but I think could happen. I'll give you super bold. 4,500 passing yards for Caleb. If the Bears drop rate goes from I think it was third worst to middle of the pack, that's going to give you a couple hundred extra yards. And if Caleb goes from 58% to 62, 63, I think 4,500 is on the table. Now, they've never had a 4,000-yard passer, which is why it's super bold, but I also think it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'll definitely do a full video on my bold predictions. I'm going to react to Cullen's bold predictions as well. But that's one that I would throw out there that I don't think is crazy. I think Caleb could be at or near the top of the league in passing if a couple things go right this year. Okay, Tony Love, he says, hey, Harrison, do you see the Bears signing an edge? I still think there's a decent chance. Clearly, at this point, they're going to get into training camp and kind of see what they got. Probably get through the first couple weeks, see what the early attrition is, if any injuries pop up, see how the guys look, maybe get through a joint practice, a preseason game, and reassess. But I definitely would not rule that out. You've got Montez Sweat, Austin Booker, Dio Odengbo has made his way back and healthy. You don't know if and when Shamar Turner is going to be ready to start camp. But even if he is, that's kind of all you got. And both Turner and Odengbo are kind of tweeners. They can kick inside some. So I would like to see them add one. Whether or not they will, I don't know. I would say it's a coin flip depending on how training camp's going. Shout out to the fine folks over at Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. You pick more or less on two or more players, stat projections, and if you hit, you win money. It's as simple as that. All sports available, tons of stats available to set your player picks lineups. We'll show an example in a minute. You can also make team picks. You can pick who's going to win these World Cup games. You want to pick the Cubs to win, you can do that as well. Take more or less on points, runs, goals, all kinds of stuff available. Team picks are a lot of fun as well. Obviously, they're staple. They're player picks lineups. I got a new season-long football lineup if you're just locked in on football season. 20 to win 1 at 55 here. Justin Jefferson, I think he's poised for a big season in Minnesota. Didn't have his best, yet still had well over 1,000 yards last year. So I think he goes more than 1,149.5. Justin Herbert, I think he clears 3,600 passing yards with ease. And then Caleb Williams, our guy. I think it happens. I think 4,000 is in the cards this year, so more than 39.99.5. 20 to win 155. Get started with Prize Picks today. Use code HMA to get $50 in player picks lineups when you sign up and play your first $5 lineup. That's code HMA, $50 once you sign up and play your first $5 lineup. Okay, Quee Liquor. Interesting. What are you comfortable paying Rome if he has a great year? I mean, if it's like he's the clear number one, you would still have 2 years. The first thing you would do is pick up the fifth-year option. I'll just throw, let's say he has 85 catches, 1,200 yards, and 9 touchdowns. It's like, okay, he's not Jamar Chase, but he's a top 15 NFL receiver. I think you start exploring a contract. Could you get him in that $30 million per year range, which I know sounds like a lot, but that would still be on the low end for a number one receiver. So I think you would approach it like that. If you can get a deal that's on the lower end of the spectrum for a number one, I think you would potentially strike. If not, I think you would play next year out, especially if Luther Burden's coming along too, because I'm kind of starting to enter that mindset of like, do you want to pay two receivers big money? I don't know if that's the best way to construct a roster, especially for this team that's going to run a lot of 12 personnel and some 13 personnel as well moving forward. So, let's see how the year plays out. I'm certainly open to an extension if the price is right and he shows he's healthy, but he's got to earn that first. So we'll have to wait and see. Shout out to Luke Clark, #Bears. What are the chances Malik Muhammad straight up wins the CB2 job? 30% chance. I don't think it's crazy that could happen. He missed mini camp. He was banged up, so he's got to be healthy for training camp, obviously. But he's going to have opportunities. Like, it's not like Tyreek Stevenson has, earned the full trust of this coaching staff. If that was the case, he probably would have been playing more down the stretch over a compromised Jalen Johnson or a Nashawn Wright that was starting to get figured out by opponents. Like, he was playing some, but he was not playing full time. So I think there's a world where it happens. I wouldn't bet on it. I think he likely enters week one as just your fourth corner. If Kyler Gordon gets banged up, he can step in at nickel. If Tyreek is struggling or gets banged up, he can step in there. If Jalen Johnson's banged up, he can step in. But I wouldn't rule it out. I think there's a chance it happens. If you're ready for football season, hit the subscribe button. We are getting close. Just around the corner, football will be here. Training camp will be here. We'll have real football to react to. So can't wait for that. We'll be here for all of it. So hit that subscribe button today. All right, Patrick Miller, what game would you want to go to most if you could? I mean, I think now that the rivalry is back, Christmas Day against Green Bay would probably be the answer. That'd be awesome, obviously. Monday night against Philly, week 3. The primetime game in Seattle would be a fun road environment to go into. Those are a few that stand out. Maybe Thursday night against the Patriots at home, get Caleb versus Drake. That'll be a good one. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of fun games on the calendar. Go to Buffalo. DJ Moore's there now. New stadium. That'd be cool. So, yeah, those are a few. DC Viper, where do you rank Loveland and Kmet among NFL tight ends? I'm comfortable putting Loveland top 10 already. You're obviously still continuing to project there, but he was second in the NFL in receiving among tight ends, I think, after week 10. So, like, that's a notable sample size. I still think Kmet's probably a top 20-ish guy. Like, I think he would start for a decent amount of teams. Obviously, his, raw stats last year wouldn't show up, but he's a very good blocker. When he's been the number one tight end, he's basically been a 500 to 600-yard guy. That's well above average. So, he's still a good player. He just happens to be behind a freak now. I wouldn't even say behind. His role has just changed. He still plays enough snaps to be a starter, essentially, especially since their base offense is 12 personnel now. But, I'd say Loveland top 10, Kmet top 20-ish, top 25. I think both are starting caliber for sure. Will the Bears make a trade before week 1? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Remember, you always see some of those minor trades around roster cut down too, like those pick swap trades. So doesn't have to be a big name. It just any trade at all. Let me know if you think it'll happen or not. All right, got time for a few more. Two Foos, Lil Foos, not sure. After this year, where do you see the 2024 first-round wide receivers hierarchy? Well, Neighbors' health is kind of the big question, right? If he's healthy and back to what he was, I think he's the best receiver from that draft. What does Brian Thomas do this year? As a rookie, he was awesome. Last year, it wasn't great. I don't think it's completely out of the realm that Rome could still be the best from that group. The first month last year, he was looking like the best from that group, but then some inconsistent play leaked in. He had the foot issue, so there's questions there. Is the story completely written on Marvin Harrison Jr.? There's a lot of talent in that group still, and they've all shown good things, but I think it's all for different reasons. There's been some inconsistency, really just with Neighbors, the injury. So, if you told me Neighbors is fully healthy, I would still pick him. But this knee issue sounds pretty serious, so I think it's truly up in the air still. All right, last one here from Scepter. What are you watching closely during the preseason? Position battle stuff, like left tackle, what does that look like? you know, I don't know how much like Caleb and the high end offensive starters will play this year compared to last year. I would imagine it's a little more cautious. Um, what does some of the new defensive pieces look like? Dylan Thieneman, I think that's a guy I want to see play a good amount and see him fly around. I think we'll have a better idea of what guys are playing, but with the Bears being a good team now, I think you're not necessarily like every year it's been like, oh, the quarterback. Don't get me wrong, if Caleb plays, I'm going to be excited to watch that, but like I don't think there's really going to be a lot to overreact to, positive or negative there. So, rookies that are getting to play. Xavier Thomas, I would say. I want to see what he looks like. So, yeah, young guys and then some guys on defense because obviously the defense needs to be more consistent this year. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want to hit me up on social media, you can at HGramNFL on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/HGramNFL. Find us over there, publishing content on those platforms. DMs are open as well. And obviously subscribe to the channel too. Bear down.